Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the free show, and this time I mean back. It's been a couple days. Of course, I'm your boy Cyrex, and this is episode 23. So, I guess you can call this the Jordan episode, 23, y'all, or the LeBron episode if you want to be that guy. So, it's been something of a eventful week. Yeah, basically. Um, I'm recording this on the morning of my first day of school, my first day of the semester. This will be the fall semester. Literally have class in 9.5 hours, and here I am making an episode for y'all. I haven't made an episode in a few days, as I mentioned earlier. Um, Um, I really wish I had, but I didn't know what to talk about. You know it's not normally a concern, but okay, there's something out there that's making a really screeching noise. I guess it's a bug or like some kind of like super grasshopper or something. I don't know bugs. I'm not a bug guy. Um, no, what? It's not no arachnologist. Not no, not no ichthyologist either. Um, I'm not a person who studies bugs, basically, or cares much about bugs. I recently found out, and shout out to number one fan Elsie for the information. I recently found out that, um, oh, we're right, that mosquitoes don't seem to have a purpose outside of serving as food for certain animals. Like birds and, bigger bugs and shit like that. Let me say that again. Mosquitoes do not have a biological purpose and ecological purpose. I don't know why I said that. I usually ecological. Yeah, I guess that's the ecological. They do not have an ecological purpose beyond serving as food for larger bugs or birds. So, when I found that out, the first thing I said was, so we're clear to start the mosquito genocide? Because I'm down to eradicate those motherfuckers if y'all are. Let's do it. Nah, but probably not. I don't even know what we can do to do that. If you know, I guess get in the comments, but, you know. Can we at least, like, I still don't fully follow why like all these races got beef with each other, except for this, obviously falsely developed sense of superiority. But can we just come together as the human race against the damn mosquitoes? I feel like we can do it. I've never met a person who likes mosquitoes, and I hope I don't. I really hope I don't, because I might kick that person. I'm not kick like. What if we're in a restaurant? Yeah, I can't kick him out of a restaurant unless I own it. I understand that. But I might walk away from them, and I might start nasty rumors about them. Nah, I just wouldn't want anything to do with them. Cause like, how can you trust somebody who's down with the mosquitoes? Like, you're down with the enemy. That's straight up the enemy. Like, I'll rock with dogs, with cats, with birds. Not a huge fan of birds, especially pigeons. You know, uh, butterflies, squirrels. Not opossums. I don't like opossums. I mean, of course, I rock with elephants. Love elephants. I'll rock with a lion. I'll rock with a sea lion. But I do not rock with mosquitoes. about to start like no mosquito propaganda, anti-mosquito propaganda. That's the real war, y'all. All these racists out here trying to undercut black people, trying to undercut Hispanic people, trying to undercut Arabic people, trying to undercut South Asians, East Asians. All these sexists out here trying to undercut women, trying to undercut transgender people, non-binary people. All these homophobes and transphobes trying to undercut the, unaccounted for part of the LGBTQI community that I was just defending. But the real war is against the mosquitoes. So let's rally all together, all 7 billion of us humans, which, by the way, we think so highly of ourselves as humans that we only count we count the population of Earth as just in units of humans. I think we can all come together against for this very powerful cause, against these damn mosquitoes. Fuck them. Destroy them all. They just want to come and get our blood. Where do y'all, leave in the comments section, where do you get bit most commonly? Where do mosquitoes most commonly bite you? For me, it's the ankles. I like to joke that, because I watch some of these infomercials, and I've been learning a little bit here and there about food, and wow, plane flying real loud overhead, or helicopter, I never care, but wow, that was really loud. Anyway, I've been watching some of these cooking infomercials, and I've been watching the cooking channel too. And I've been learning little food terms and whatnot. And how it works, the joints and I look at that, sauteing the fat for the flavor. Shout out to Oh No and Gangrene for that gluttony. But yeah, I think that that's where basically I'm straining myself. I think that that's where the flavor is, at least for me, is in the ankles. So the mosquitoes go for the ankles. Y'all, fuck these damn mosquitoes. We gotta rally up against them. And yo, speaking of cooking channel just now, I be watching this show called The Best Thing I Ever Ate. And yo, matter of fact, all these shows, that Man Fire Food, that Cheap Eats, all that shit makes me, oh my goodness, makes me want to go explore all these dope food joints. Even in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I don't know what I would be doing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming unless I'm performing. But, so, damn, I'm hungry. After this, I gotta see if there's some more chicken in there. I can't do it now. I can't do it until I finish the episode, because if I do, I'll get so distracted that I won't finish it. It'll be late. It'll be time for me to go to sleep. I'll be like, oh, fuck. So yeah, I can't do that. Can't do that to y'all. I already been a week without recording an episode. Been a few days without posting one. Before the hard drive went down, it had become so easy. And I was ready, y'all. I was ready to start, pumping out that content. But I don't know, I guess I gotta do this more often too. I just gotta sit down with my mind and the vape and bottle of water, which is what I got, and beer when I can. and just talk to y'all. What was I gonna say? Now, I would like to know from y'all though, what kind of topics would you guys like to hear about? You know, give me topics to cover, and I'm not just gonna offer a promise that I'll do all of them, but whatever I can do a good discussion on, you know, maybe bring in a guest. I know it's been a few episodes since we had a guest, but I'm gonna keep pushing for y'all. You know, I highly appreciate all the people who be listening. You know, and it's not just gonna be on YouTube either. It's gonna be on more platforms, and I'll be, you know, talking about that as I scale that, mountain. Let's call it. So, you know, I mean, this is for the freaks. This is for the ones who, you know, we ain't the normal cast. We ain't what society want. We're not what society want us to be. We are the freaks. This is the freak show. So this is for y'all too. Not just catharsis for me, you know. So, I definitely would. I mean, once again, want to let you guys know. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow on Twitter. Follow on Instagram. We got more Walk With Me episodes coming. You know, I'm not pushing myself too hard this semester. Just gonna try and get some more funds here, and also take a couple classes. So that'll be fun, or something. You know, it's been a rocky road, you know, with school and all, but I'm fairly close to an AA, so, you know, that's a good thing. So there was something that I wanted to talk about on here, and it was something that was brought up in an episode of Everyday Struggle this past week. And it was apparently French Montana was quoted with saying that he feels like rappers who do, well, I mean, I actually don't remember if it was rappers or vocalists in general, but I'm pretty sure it was just rappers who do an album entirely by themselves, by which he of course means no features, is a weirdo. So, again, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate this. Rappers, this is from the perspective of French Montana. According to him, rappers who do an album without any features are weirdos. Now, he backed this up with some, I'm not just going to straight up shit on him right away. I'm going to, you know, make sure the context is there. Actually, I'll even check on that right now. Okay, so yeah, as they read it, it seems like the quote was that he, or at least the gist of the quote was that he does think that people who don't make an album with no features are weirdos, and his defense behind that was that he sees music as this party, this community kind of thing, and I get that. You know, I love collaborations too. Something about, you know, hearing multiple voices on one track. I love that. I absolutely love it. And to be quite honest, I'd like to have more collaborations. But the statement is stupid. What he said is just straight stupid. Because, I mean... What? Well, I mean, weirdo doesn't have that one objective meaning, so... But he obviously seems to mean it in a malicious way. And it's just a stupid statement because people can make complete works, you know, without making much in the way of vocal collaboration and, you know, get this massive following behind it. You know, I hate to be yet another person using the J. Cole example, but I mean... he had no rapping features on Born Sinner. I'm not a fan of that album, but he had no rapping features. He brought Kendrick Lamar to do a hook. He had TLC on there, doing a hook. He had Miguel doing a hook. So it was really just him doing all the rapping. What's another? Oh yeah, Forest Hills Drive. No features on that. I'm pretty sure For Your Eyes Only didn't have features either. Yeah, 10 tracks, no features, not a one. So yeah, and I mean that one I actually really really enjoyed. So yeah, I mean, making works that feel complete to people, making something that, because if it felt incomplete, if it felt like I don't know, this would feel better if he had another voice on this. If it generally felt incomplete to people, then I guess that would be more of a valid statement if there was truth to it. But it just seems like a sloppy opinion that he's trying to sloppily pass as fact. That's ridiculous. He's basically trying to put down people who create by themselves. The little sci-fi experiment that's out there, that's just an experiment. That's an experiment that I did entirely myself. All of it. Now, the beats that I used, of course, I just basically went looking for them. I had produced them myself. In fact, I actually need to go back into my history so I can give those people credit. But yeah, I did all those vocals myself. And I did them all in a single take. As far as the songs that I've recorded so far with Raw Duke, okay, no, never mind. Most of them have no features though, but I forgot Go Up and Welcome to the Party do have features. Go Up coming soon, by the way. Coming very, very soon. New shit on the way. Alert, alert, this is not a drill. Alright, so back to this. I just think the notion of, it being a negative, now it's a negative thing, to these hype beast people, to these people who basically just want to hear their favorite artists on some shit. And it's a novel concept to have a myriad of, now again, I'm speaking against this ridiculous quote, ridiculous thing, ridiculous opinion, despite being somebody who loves features. I'm pretty sure my favorite shit on Revolutions Per Minute by Reflection Eternal, my favorite track, aside from In This World and no matter where you fall, I'll always be in your corner. Back Again, yeah, with Reese. My favorite shit on there is Get Loose with Chester French. That shit was dope too. Got a real kind of rock and roll club vibe to it, like old rock and roll club vibe. But it works. But yeah, it's that Just Begun joint. It's Talib, Jay Electronica, J. Cole, and Mos Def. Yasin Bey, my bad. So it's the four of them, and they just each do a verse, just posse together. I love 36 Chambers. Like, what makes 36 Chambers so endearing is all of the different voices. They're all so they're all weird in their own way, and I mean weird in the best way. They're all weird in their own way, from ODB to Jizza to Method Man to RZA to everybody. So shout out to Wu-Tang. I mean that album, literally, it's got 2 songs that are considered solo songs, and even those have like an intro and an outro by somebody else. You got Clan in the Front, that's just Jizza. You got Method Man, of course, self-titled. And you also got, I mean, Shame on the Niggas kind of like, it kind of feels like an ODB track featuring Ray and Meth. But yeah, it's one of, it's a fantastic collaborative feel. Love that. Loved all of the Dynasty collaborations like Pop for Rock with, Jay Amil, Beanie Siegel, and Memphis Bleak. I loved For the Fam, For My Thugs. What was that? There was another one. You, Me, Him, and Her, even though Amil only did a couple bars on that. I mean, that was pretty much the extent of it, but I mean, there were also somewhere that had 3 of them, or some that had 2 of them, but I love that collab shit. I love, love, love collabs, especially when they actually sound good together. They actually got some chemistry in there. They actually make a song together, not just like, 2 people appearing together. Like, AM by Wiki was one of my favorite no, that's not by Wiki, it's by Earl featuring Wiki, my bad. AM by Earl and Wiki. That shit is tight. I was like, wait, Earl with Wiki? Yeah, I mean, they different, but you know what? It makes sense. And they fit together on that track together. What was another really tight one? Garlic and Oil, Mayhem Loren with Action Bronson. That shit is tight. That shit is absolutely tight. Tomorrow never comes until it's too late. That shit was really tight. And what was that? I mean, I can honestly, I could probably talk on my favorite collabs for a long time. I might even do that after this discussion, but let me get back to the point here. I love collabs, but to insist that it's some kind of negative thing, or that it's some kind of outcast thing to make an album, mostly by yourself, to make an album with no features, just be you and a couple producers, and your people, but not really any features. To insinuate that that's like a bad thing or something to be laughed at is shitty. And it just kind of reinforces like this way that I see him as a musician. I don't know his personality, so I can't speak on that. He's clearly like must be a nice guy, because clearly must be a good guy to be around, because I mean, he shows up on all these platforms. All these people in media, all these rappers and whatnot want to be around him, want him around them. So, but the way I see him as a musician, I honestly like. And I'm not gonna insinuate that I'm like deep into his music. I don't really know many songs of his. But from what I have heard, it's just he comes off so. I'll just say the opinion that I've had of him pretty much the whole time he's been out. It feels like he's a guy who. It doesn't feel like he's a rapper. It feels like all his friends are really good rappers, and I guess he can kick a freestyle, so they gas him up and say he can rap, whether they believe it or not. I mean, seem to think he's got good songs. I mean, all his singles are collaborative. All his singles, for his singles to pop off, he basically needs a collab. Now, I don't know much about his mixtape culture, but as far as the mixtapes, it really seems like he needs a collab to pop off. Remember Pop That? That was the first big one. Pretty sure that was the first big one by him. Yo, I never heard people talk about his verse. If he was just like something fleeting in the wind, like it was a damn good thing that he had the first verse, because then once you're past that part, this is how people basically treated it. They didn't really say it like this, but they may have said it like this. Once you get past that whack dude at the beginning, the next 3 rappers are dudes you already like, dude. We got Rick Ross, we got Drake, we got Lil Wayne, man. People you're used to, people you already like, people who are dope. Y'all know I ain't a big fan of Lil Wayne, but I mean, he out there. I acknowledge his classic run, or hot run, whatever you want to call it. But yo, like straight up, I only ever heard people talk about Pop That or play Pop That for Rick Ross, Drake, and Lil Wayne's verses. And all the, like when the DJs wanted to get a little hot take of the song in the club, or they do that thing where they play it in the club for just like a couple, those transitional songs that you just want to play, like, you're playing almost complete songs, but then you want to switch things up, and so you put this on for like a verse, you put that on for like a verse. None of the DJs put on French Montana's verse unless they like missed with the turntable. You feel me? Not to, I know this is coming off a little disrespectful, but I'm just talking about the music. The music, from my perspective, the music that I've heard is just trash. It's not good. This Unforgettable song, I don't really, I'm not into it. And usually when I'm in the car, I'll put my headphones on, or if I can get the aux, I'll put my phone on the CarPlay, or whatever. So I'm usually listening to what I want to if I'm in the car, if I'm anywhere where there's a radio. So when Unforgettable comes on, it's usually I'm not down. Let me just put my. So I actually don't think that I've even heard French Montana's verse. But Joe and Ag made really good points about how he, like DJ Khaled, is this music A&R. Difference is this dude puts himself forward as a rapper. As a rapper. DJ Khaled rapped on a couple remixes. He might have done a couple verses since then, but like, he's a DJ. This is how DJs drop records. He's basically on the track just saying DJ. He's hosting the album. He's hosting the album, only he's the host and the homeowner. Versus like, say, Green Lantern hosted Memphis Bleek's mixtape, or K Slay hosted Papoose' mixtape. K Slay is the host, but Papoose is, the resident and the homeowner. He owns the property. The property is the album. You feel me? So, think about that. The fact that this dude basically plays host and plays a part in the song, but I gotta tell y'all the truth, man, and maybe this is the issue with how I see this comment. I don't really know what a French Montana song is supposed to sound like. He just sounds like this dude who raps on trap beats. Now, from what I heard him say, apparently he was rapping on all these New York beats. I know that he's from either the Bronx or Queens. He's from one of the boroughs, so that's cool. But he apparently was rapping over all these boom bap New York beats. But then he started rapping on the trap, and that's what popped off. Okay, I get it. People, mixtape culture. I get it. Whatever. But what does this dude bring to the table lyrically? What does this dude bring to the table in terms of charisma? In terms of energy, isn't it? It's not that I'm just saying his lyrics are bad. They're bad. But I'm just saying he's uninteresting. He's not interesting. He does not grab any attention whatsoever. So it's like, it's coming in seeming like he has nothing to say, and not catching my attention. by the time his part comes and goes, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, right. But then I find out it's his song. I'm like, wait, huh? I don't even think I heard him on that. I heard a bunch of this dude, a bunch of that dude. Didn't want to hear him. So this is why I say that I look at him as not just not this not this regular rapper, but this dude who rolls around so many rappers and spends so much of his time around rappers that he just tried it out himself, and either his rap homies really like it or they don't have the heart to tell him they don't. For his sake, I do hope it's the former. But he seems to have fans and a following. But I just, I'll tell you what. If you're a fan of French Montana, please do me a favor. Get in the comment box and tell me what you like about French Montana's music that does not have to do with the guest appearances and does not have to do with the beats. I understand he has a great ear for beats. I understand that is a legitimate talent. But I want to know what makes him special as a musician, as a vocalist, as a songwriter. Because it seems like it's just, like... It just seems like a bunch of DJ Khaled songs, only all of them feature French Montana. Or like French Montana's the DJ who raps on all of his songs. Whatever you want to call it. But, let me see something real quick. So now I am hearing this perspective as I, watch more of the video. I am hearing more of this perspective that the mixtape stuff from him is the best. So I guess that it's just another one of those. Now, I mean, he's signed to a major label, so gotta get that hot single and make that streaming money. But I was looking at the track listing real quick. Pretty much every song has a feature, or two or three. So yeah, this dude's not really trying to hold the studio albums by himself. And again, I get that whole community thing. If he's rolling with this person, why not hop in the studio with them? If he's rolling with that person, why not hop in the studio with them? I'd certainly like to be like that, but I mean, that whole theory of bad, good. There may be a grain of truth of to a message, but wrong messenger. Like the whole thing with when the Azaleas were beefing. And Banks was calling Iggy, basically. Banks was calling her out for all this shit she would say on Twitter, which was true, but wrong messenger, because Banks was just as bad, if not way worse, than Iggy. And with Trinidad James, getting mad, talking about Atlanta runs New York radio. New York radio must be playing some of that trap because they basically built a whole drill scene there. They built a whole drill music scene there, or a offshoot of drill music. I don't know what they want to call it. I don't know what they call it, but it's basically the New York trap, New York drill, New York bounce, whatever. I don't know what they call it. My cousin Rob G's is part of that movement, so shout out to him. Rob G's, check out his mixtape, King of the North. If you're definitely into that. Basically, if you're into that very high energy type rap, then that's the stuff for you. He's got that. He got songs though. I think he sings like every hook. So yeah. Runs in a family, yo. But Yeah, it's another one of those cases of no, it's not. It's way worse actually. It's not a case of somewhat true message, hella wrong messenger. It's a shitty and stupid message. Just rude and just inaccurate message. It makes no sense. Just seems like something skewed from somebody who may or may not seem. I'd like to know the context in which he said this, in which he was provoked to say the first part of the statement. I might actually even go read the article or whatever right now. I think it was paper or something like that. I'll just look for that part, but just it's just a stupid thing to say. It's just stupid. And it doesn't make sense, and it really holds no water. Because think of what Robert Johnson did on his own. It was just him up there singing, just him and his guitar, and he was singing and playing. And they said he sounded like two. They said he sounded like two guitars. There was like, who's playing with him? And it was him, just him. Yeah. So, think about that. The fact that, yes, music definitely does have that collaborative element and is largely collaborative. Is generally probably more collaborative than, actually, no, just more collaborative than solo. Because not everybody can write songs, not every musician can write songs, not every musician can rap, not every musician can compose, not every musician can not every musician can produce. There's lots of things that no, not every lots of musicians can't engineer. So there's a lot of people who wear a lot of hats that assist the musician. It's just that the musician's the homeowner. They just help build the home. You feel me? They'll build the home to the homeowner's specifications. To the, I guess, homeowner architect, maybe architect. Maybe it's both. I don't know. But my point stands. And again, a messenger that seemed like the only thing that I can think of was maybe he seemed bitter or just seemed sour about being asked. If he potentially he was asked. I'm sure he's been asked about that in interviews. We've noticed that just all your hits have collaborations. All your singles have collaborations. And what do you think about when people say this guy just sounds like this guy just all he does is collaborate? What do you think when they say that he isn't that when they don't understand your musical identity, or they say that you don't have one? Maybe he's been asked that. If I was him and I was being asked that, I'd feel a little I feel a little slighted by that question. Maybe he does. Maybe he gets asked that question. He doesn't. He pays it no mind because he's getting money. Can't deny that. But something that, and I'll build on this too. This is just a seed that I want to leave here. It seems like as we got more into the money and into securing stuff, yeah, of course, we want to get the money. We want to make our lives better. We want to get some financial freedom. We want to make a living off of what we love, off of our passion. But I guess the cultural element of the craft. People prophesize that to not prophesize, but they assume it to have died. They assume so much of the focus to be on the money now that the craft has fallen by the wayside. And I mean, there's some truth to those assumptions because, of course, more and more rappers than ever, and as time has gone on, of course, it's not like all these rappers are flashy, then none. No, I mean, for one thing, the first generation, when they were doing shows, especially Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Melly Mel and Kid Creole and Mr. Ness and Cowboy and goodness, I'm forgetting someone. Goodness, hold on. It was Raheem that I was forgetting. I'm sorry. No disrespect to the legend. Shout out to the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. But when they were doing their shows, they were in flashy outfits, you know, and leather and whatnot. But then, yeah, with the basically with Run DMC changing the culture with the more casual outfits and whatnot. You know, after more and more money came in, more and more of the flashier stuff came in. Now I understand Pimp C's perspective of don't hate on the rappers because they want shiny things. We really from Africa. We come from kings. I get that all day, all day. But you know, at a certain point, it seems like the flash even becomes more important. The flash and all the money becomes more important than, you know, the fact that you love this. Now, of course, there's some people out there who just have gotten big and just care about the money. But whatever. It's not like a single person's words can just get them out of the culture. Whatever. Now we're all about, you know, oh, don't hate, oh, let them live, you know. I'm the first one to defend my generation, but there definitely has been this culture built on just the threshold for what's hating has definitely become such, you know, so much more exaggerated. Or at least so they say, you know, maybe the previous generation was more sensitive, I don't know. But it seems like we don't even want to take something constructively. We just want to say, oh, fuck them, they're hating, or they're old, or whatever. If you do not learn your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So you should want to be better, because bad things have happened to people, and you don't want those bad things to happen to you. So, look, if somebody just comes at you flaming you, says, oh, it sucks, oh, and they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about, yeah, I get that. That's hate. Just, oh, fuck this and fuck that, and they're just spewing negativity, almost for the sake of spewing negativity, if not exactly so. Fuck that, then that is hating. And that's just being a bullshitter, being, you know, just being full of shit. But, you know, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I mean, I just want to be able to live and just be able to do my thing, and I can take criticism constructively. You know, yeah, sometimes I get, you know, a type of way if something might have been really special to me. Like, I got a type of way one time when, like, when nobody responded to the Facebook invitations to my birthday thing soon enough. I was like, nah, let me just take this shit down, and then I reposted it. I was like, clearly I posted this at a bad time of day. It was like late as shit. You know, nobody saw it. Just no. I felt away. So yeah. But I don't know. People can get in their feelings sometimes. You know, these things happen. It's just, I don't know, when someone's trying to come at you like, listen, man, this is this for this because this, that, come through with like coherence and whatnot. They ain't hating. They just expressing some form of disapproval, and you can do with that what you want. I do with it what I want. But whatever, I think I strayed pretty far. I think features, honestly, as far as features go, from my perspective, I think features are great for hip hop. I think features are one of the best things about hip hop. You know, people like, for the same reason that French likes them, because they foster that sense of community. Because it's that party effort, it's that collaborative effort, it's that combined energy that just enhances the life and the soul of the song. So yeah, I absolutely love collaborations. I love, you can think of groups as like a constant collaboration. Think of Tribe. Most of the songs, the majority of the songs, were Q-Tip and Fife. So they were working together on that kind of stuff. And think about Scenario, when they had the leaders of the new school in there with the with Tribe. That was a solid ass collab. That was a big breakout moment for Busta Rhymes too. And also think about all those Wu records, like I mentioned before. All that collaboration style, from Bring the Ruckus to Fourth Chamber to The Mystery of Chess Boxing to especially Protect Your Neck. And even in Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With, even in Tears, even in Can It Be All So Simple. All those songs do have that collaboration aesthetic. But even on those albums where it's like, say The Blueprint, weren't really rapping features on there. You just had you had the hook on, you had the backing vocals on Jigga That Nigga. You had the Three Legends come in for the hook on Girls, 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 Biz Markie, Q-Tip, and Slick Rick. You had Timbaland kick the hook on Hola Jovito. Kanye kicked the hook on Never Change. I'm pretty sure that was like his first ever vocal appearance. And then you have this actual rap feature by Eminem, and they're going bar for bar. That was an exciting thing. They had this chemistry on this song. And I won't talk about where I stand on the verses, but you can't deny the chemistry they had on that song, even though it felt kind of different, because I don't think Eminem re-recorded his part, because it was supposed to be a Bad Meets Evil song, but it ended up being Jay's song featuring Eminem. So, and that was one of those, Jay had written the album in 2 days. Also you have Nas, with Life's a Bitch. Pete Rock kicked the hook on The World Is Yours, Q-Tip on One Love, and I think those were the only ones. Oh yeah, there was like Represent had the hook that he didn't really, Nas didn't really do the hook. And then One Time for Your Mind, I believe LP actually, did the back and forth with him on the hook. But see, as far as rap features, the only other person to, he kind of did the majority of the vocals on the song was AZ. He did the hook and he did the first verse. And that was, that's a legendary collaboration. Legendary, and it's on something that a lot of people call the best rap album of all time. And many people, I definitely say it's up there, all time. So whether it's like on an album that has just the one rap feature, or think about those other features that they had, what Pete Rock's voice brought to The World Is Yours, what that little exchange in One Time for Your Mind, one time for your mind, one time, yeah, whatever, represent, Represent, represent. Think about all those vocal collaborations that just they just brought in another voice, and it made it feel more like a conversation. It made it feel more like multiple people have this kind of mindset. So that's definitely something that, you know, that's definitely worth noting. Clyde is hurt. He can't really go outside anymore. Yeah, he's trying to claw his way out. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick. All right, and we're back. Now, I just want to, build on this conversation over here, or just a discussion about features. Think about all those great albums. I can go on about features for a while. Think about all those great albums that, that had two artists that just go about their solo business normally, and they come together to do one. Think about how Run the Jewels was basically an experiment on the first tryout, but then Run the Jewels 2 and 3 is them as a full-on group. Like, that's, the main thing now, and that's really dope. Them together as a group, that works. You would think Killer Mike and LP, like, they walk two different walks, but I mean, I guess they were similar walks, similar enough walks. Did some production, did some work together. Tried an album, and wow, did that work? Wow, did it work? And now we got 3 dope albums, 2 especially in time might become classics. Especially part 2. I think part 2 I think Run the Jewels 2 definitely has serious classic potential. I'm sure it'll stand the test of time. And I mean, even the there's even collaborations on there from Zach De La Rocca, from Gangsta Boo, from Boots, from Diane Coffee. Dope album with dope collaborations that all serve the purpose. To Pimp a Butterfly had mad collaborations. Like, he was basically in there on a lot of the tracks with a live band. And all those collaborations with Anna Wise, with Bilal, with Snoop, Rhapsody, Thundercat, George Clinton. Who else am I missing? Oh, and that Tupac interview, or interview/conversation. Like, collaborations are dope. Collaborations are something that can make an album stronger, but collaborations can also seem like a crutch. Think about there's been a lot of artists that just got by of having a couple hot features on their album, or having a couple hot features on their song. I do think that French is the prime example in this era. But let's see. People who just roll around getting hot collabs. I don't even know them because they ain't worth nothing. I know that felt like a buck though. Fuck bugs. But just consider, because the reverse point was brought up, like the same people who think that people who do albums alone are weirdos, those people who they think are weirdos think they're weirdos. You wouldn't be able to pull off an album with no features. What you doing? Why? You ain't got enough bars, or you're not interesting enough? You're not saying nothing. You need some help. You know, that kind of shit. So, I mean, think about these features that like may not go together, or just these ones that, you know, it was clearly a reach for some sales. If you were to take off Where You At from Dirty Sprite 2, that would be Future. That would be all Future vocals straight the way through. That album is just Future as far as vocals go. Just Future with the Drake verse. That was one of the most painful haircuts of my life. And of course, I ain't talking about physical pain. I'm talking about I seriously had to endure that album in its entirety. I was like, wow, I don't like this at all. I really don't like this. That fuck up some comma song, you know, that was cool the first couple parties that I heard it at. It was cool back in 2015, back when I was working at McDonald's, and I was going out every weekend with, with KJ and Kislon and Alyssa to all those 109 Tower parties, and every single party we would hear fuck up some commas. Yeah, it was cool then. Totes my goats, absolutely. But that whole album is kind of insufferable. It's basically 3 songs, but like 5 times each. 5 times each of like each one, you know. You chart the 3 songs, and you're like, okay, that you tally them, and at the end, not one strays from that. It's one of the 3. It's either some form of fuck up some commas, or it's some form of rich sex, or it's some form of thought it was a drought. That's the whole album. Yes, I've heard by activists, I thought it was a drought. You know? But enough about that. I'm not here to talk about that. Future's just not an artist that I'm into. Just not at all. What I'm talking about is, think about What a Time to Be Alive. That was even clunkier and even more uneven than Watch the Throne. Watch the Throne was not by any means a perfect album. That Why I Love You, that was kind of, you know, it was good, but it was like, Who Gonna Stop Me was a step to the left, but I can enjoy that one. I like that song. Murder to Excellence was dope. But then you have moments like Liftoff. Liftoff was kind of a hot mess. And I think what I read was that Ye was in such awe of the beat that he couldn't really come up with anything. But it's like, all right, if you... and then Jay has like this tiny bit part. If Ye would have come up to like some good lyrics to those melodies, that would have been dope, but he didn't, you know. Niggas in Paris's outro was kind of whack. Which other song? Cause like New Day, I mean that one was just a little too long. It's like you hear this long intro, then you hear Kanye's verse, and you hear the interlude again. That feels like it feels like days. I feel like you start listening to a new song when you finally hear Jay come in. It's like, oh right, Jay is on this song. Yeah, okay, right, yeah. That's my only issue with that one, but it's a really deep song. It's a really good song. That's My Bitch was tight. I liked that one. I think I'm sure people had felt a way about that. It was had some of that kind of Kanye rock vibe, if that makes sense. Kanye rock, maybe. Basically, it had some of the 808s, Blueprint 3, and Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy stuff rolled into one. It basically it felt like it could have been on Blueprint 3. Or like, a remix from 808s. And I think it was good. I really liked it. I thought it was really unique. I thought that rock aesthetic, that electro rock aesthetic with, bringing in Ellie Jackson from LaRue, because she was, popping at that time and just, I guess absorbing all the flavor, whatever. I'm not accusing them of that. But also having Justin Vernon do a little hook on that too. And, Ye and Jay were coming from they were talking about the same thing, but coming from different angles, so it was really dope. Welcome to the Jungle was more Jay, so I'm really surprised that Kanye didn't really have more to say on that song. But I guess Jay domineered it, but it could have stood to be longer. All that all that wasn't really necessary. Had they just had the small song be the same length, but had Ye rapping more, and maybe Jay rapping a little more, that would have been dope. Made in America was a little long too, at the end. But a couple of songs were kind of a mess. The songs that I mentioned were kind of a mess. It wasn't this grand, and then the Ham was a hot mess. That made no fucking sense. You just kind of threw them where they didn't belong, especially Jay didn't. It goes hard at parties, but the opera, it's couture hip hop. Hip hop isn't, hip hop music itself isn't the fashion. There's hip hop fashion, then there's hip hop music. Yes, they're part of the same culture. Yes, they run parallel, or intersect, or they are the same line or whatever, but they're not the same line. Anyway, the What a Time to Be Alive. I actually wanted to like that. I was like, you know what? Maybe Future will, maybe Drake will bring a part of Future that I actually enjoy, or maybe Future will actually talk about some shit that I want to hear, or he'll do something in a way that I want to hear. That shit was garbage. That Digital Dash song sounded like Future. I'm gonna go down the fucking track list. I'm just gonna go down the goddamn track list. Maybe easiest way would be to search Jumpman. And it was a retail mixtape. Alright. That Digital Dash was not good. Just sounded generic. Just sounded like generic Future. Big Rings, it sounded like Atlanta Drake with Future. Live from the Gutter was I. I'm pretty sure Young Thug rapped on that same beat. Diamonds Dancing. Was it Diamonds Dancing or Scholarships? That was the boom. I go so hard for these races. I fell in love with the dirty. Oh my goodness. It just seems like he wants to go in the studio and rap the same song over and over. That's what gets boring to me. He's not doing anything. And Future was, I am talking about Future, but Drake was just kind of following him along for the ride. The fact that Drake couldn't bring Future into another space. I get that they were working pretty much only with Metro Boomin and Southside. Scholarships. See, this shit runs together. You danced all night, girl, you deserve it. Plastic bag was in. I'm the plug. Southside, I mean, Southside is good, but it's like the singles that come out with his beats all sound the same. So it seems like he must be showing these producers like this variety of beats, but they all go for the same shit. At least that's what I'd like to think. He's good. He's dope enough that I'd like to think that. Change Locations was a breath of fucking fresh air on this shit. Future was doing the same shit he always does, but I mean, at least they sounded good together on this song. Jumpman was, it's fun in the club, whatever. 30 for Jersey, I thought was shite. I thought Jersey was a piece of shit. I was like, I knew it. There's a song that's just Future. I bet I'm not gonna like this. Extendo. God, shoot me now. No, I don't like it. And then 30 for 30, I thought that was good. I actually enjoyed that. This is one of those, I guess, way delayed reviews because I haven't listened to this shit in a long time. But that was one of those just money grab collaborations. They threw some shit together. They, like people say, it was basically a Future mixtape featuring Drake. Metro Boomin. If there was an MVP to this mixtape, it was Metro Boomin. Clocked in that beat for Big Rings, for Scholarships, for Jumpman. His collaborations with Southside are present on Digital Dash and on Jersey, even though Southside comes in with some shit. But then also, Diamonds Dancing, Live from the Gutter, Metro Boomin working with a couple other producers, Boy Wonder, Alan Ritter, and Frank Dukes. On the first one on the former, and the last two on the latter. That's a money grab collaboration, what people thought that Unfinished Business by Jay and R. Kelly was. They thought that was a money grab. They thought it was like, okay, you didn't really do much of a press run, and now you just want us to take these leftovers, yeah. Because it was mostly unreleased tracks. And I mean, I feel that they did mad work, but when the song doesn't feel genuine, that's when you can assume it was a money grab. But let me think. Do I got anything else that I want to say about collaborations and features? I'm sure that I'm going to have more to say in a future episode. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it at this. We got some new stuff coming soon. A new song called, I'm just say it for y'all now, Go Up, coming soon. I got the shit that make you want to go nuts, I do got the shit that make you want to go nuts. Be sure to follow Cyrix MC. More Walk With Me episodes coming soon. More of these, of course, coming soon. Just more stuff coming soon. I'm gonna try to keep something on top for y'all. I'm gonna definitely have free recs out by the end of this year. I'm gonna, I want to do it sooner than later. And just be sure to follow. Be sure to share. Tell your friend about it. Tell your friend about the show that has these discussions that you guys might already be having, or tell me some of the discussions that you're having so that we can have them on the show. Because I'd definitely love to know what you guys are thinking about and talk with you guys about it. So be sure to communicate. Be sure to be a part of the community. Be sure to be a part of the Freak Rock community. Be sure to if you identify with the Freak Show, let me know. Talk to me. And hey, if you completely disagree, if you think I'm just hating, you think I'm just an old nigga in a new nigga body, then then tell me that too. If you dislike this video, go ahead and dislike it. Tell me why. Tell me what you think. If you disagree with me, just let's have a discussion. Don't come flaming me. Don't come with, oh, you're so stupid. You don't like Future. No, I'm not up for that. But if you want to, because Rod Duke and I had a discussion like that. And I was asking him, go ahead and I guess if you want to explain what it is that appeals to him, what it is that appeals to, about this guy to you. And he did. And it was sound. It's just, okay, but I don't buy it. Not that I don't buy it. I believe him. It's just none of that shit works. None of that shit works for me. And I know people find it also a little bit of a paradox that I like Young Thug, but I don't like Future. I don't like all of Young Thug's work. I don't have a single mixtape of his that I really like all the way. Slime Seasons 1 and 2 are just too disorganized for me. And he's just doing too much. Oh my goodness, but I like some songs of his, and I like his style. I like some things he does. All these older classic songs that I know, appreciate from older artists, from like, say from Ray Charles to Casey and the Sunshine Band, to Usher, to Mary J. Blige. I only know a couple songs, Not everybody's. I understand that not with everything you're listening to, you're gonna be like the most knowledgeable person on the topic. It's more with the stuff that you really like, that you really not just that you really like, but that you're really passionate about and really identify with, and you can really get with the culture behind it. And I feel like hip hop has produced a culture like no other. And so, this is us being a part of it. Let's have this discussion. Once again, be sure to follow Cyrix MC, especially on YouTube. Be sure to follow and be sure to share the video. Be sure to tell all your friends about it. Once again, this is The Freak Show, and this is episode 23. I'm your boy Cyrix. Have a good night.